विश्व धर्म संगम की ओर से स्वामी सौम्यानंद जी महाराज का प्रणाम स्वीकार करें. Welcome to today's explainer. Today, we are embarking on a really profound, honestly fascinating exploration. We're going to dig into a framework that bridges ancient spiritual wisdom with our modern understanding of cosmic evolution. By analyzing source documents from Vishwadharma Sangam, we're going to trace the incredible journey of energy, literally all the way from a microscopic quark right up to the enlightened state of a universal human.
To really set the stage for this, let's actually kick things off with a beautiful poem directly from the source material. It goes, Sumerin garthu swans me, sun anhud ki bat, panch tatve ke panch swear, guts me garthu pechan. These lines are basically an invitation. They invite us to meditate on our breath and listen to the eternal, unstruck sound of the universe. You know, the actual hum of existence. They're asking us to recognize the 5 elements, the very building blocks of life, right, within our own physical bodies.
The poem continues, saying, "Panch tatv ka tana bana, panch kosh se panch avasthaएं उपजाना, इनमें है विज्ञान विधान." So here, the text is revealing that the cosmic web of these 5 elements gives birth to 5 distinct states, or koshas. You can think of them like sheaths or overlapping layers of reality. And what's really striking is that it explicitly states that within this spiritual framework lies a profound scientific law, like a literal true science of existence.
Now, as this scientific journey of energy evolves within us, the text promises a pretty massive transformation. Vishwadharam bodh jinme jage, dukh daridra wahan nahi jave, jag chaye nyay dharm nirvana. It's saying that when this universal understanding finally awakens inside of us, suffering and poverty are totally eradicated. It envisions a world completely enveloped in justice, righteousness, and ultimately liberation.
And it all culminates with this incredible vision. Vasudeva Kutumbakam, Sabka Pyar Sakal Sampada, Unke Dwar, Somya Nand Vishwa Divya Parivar Mahan. It speaks of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, which is this realization that the entire world is just one single family. This is the ultimate goal, right? A divine world family where universal love unlocks all true wealth and prosperity. But, it's one thing to have a poetic vision. The real question is, how exactly do we get there? Well, let's look at the science they present.
To unpack exactly how that poetic vision maps onto an analytical reality, the source material gives us this intensely detailed visual map. It shows us how energy evolves through those 5 distinct sheaths or layers of existence that we just talked about. Let's dive into this and see how it brilliantly illustrates the scientific mechanics behind the poetry.
If we look closely at the framework provided, it outlines a strictly chronological evolutionary journey. We are tracing a continuous path of cosmic evolution, which is basically a building up of what the text calls energy wealth. It starts down at the absolute most microscopic level, the atom or the quark. From there, it evolves into complex matter. Then it awakens into living forms. And ultimately, it culminates in the macro-level consciousness of what they call the Mahamanov, or the great enlightened human. To help us understand this massive progression, the source actually divides the 5 koshas into 2 main phases. The first 3 koshas, Annamaya, Pranamaya, and Monomaya, are highly physical and energetic. They're dealing with the nuts and bolts, atoms, vibrations, and electron bonds. But then, the final 2 koshas, Anandmaya and Vijnanamaya, represent a huge shift. That is where consciousness, sensory experience, and true knowledge finally enter the picture. Let's break these down, starting right at ground zero, the Annamaya Kosh. The source text describes this as the realm where creative completeness occurs. It states that even if you take a part away from the whole remains, which is very much like how energy in the universe is never truly lost, it just changes form. This is the stage of fundamental energy exchange that forms atoms. In this framework, this profound atomic foundation is reverently referred to as Anna Brahma. All right, building on those atoms, we move up to the Pranamaya and Monomaya koshas. And the mechanics here are just fascinating. Pranamaya introduces vibration and mobility. The text notes that without this vibration, literally nothing happens. It has to exist in every single root particle. Then the Monomaya kosh handles the electronic energy bonds. This is where the actual selection process happens, linking those atoms together to form tangible matter. It's the glue holding the universe together. Now, what is truly fascinating is the huge conceptual leap that happens next. In the Annamaya kosh, that atomic structure expands into an active life state. This is where living creatures, like animals and birds, actually emerge.
The text explicitly links this kosha to the introduction of sensory experiences, the capacity to feel joy, sorrow, fear, and to exert effort. It is literally the birth of neurological consciousness. And that brings us to the absolute pinnacle of this whole evolutionary map, the Vijnanmaya Kosh. This is defined as the state of true knowledge. It's the culmination of all that energy churning over eons. Here, the energy of the mind becomes highly active, leading to that enlightened Mahamanav state we mentioned earlier. The text explains that at this ultimate stage, the active soul energy actually returns to its original cosmic source. So, the really crucial takeaway here is how systematically this framework assigns a precise, specific function to energy at every single stage. Let's just review how these build on each other. It starts with creative completeness in the Annamaya Kosh, it adds vibration in Pranamaya, it uses selection in Manomaya, develops sensory consciousness in Anandmaya, and finally achieves realization in the Vijnanamaya Kosh. Together, this systematic accumulation isn't just basic evolution, it is the ultimate generation of energy wealth.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the micro connects perfectly to the macro. The individual's evolutionary journey through these 5 koshas isn't just about personal biology. It scales all the way up. The Divine World Family emblem hits the nail on the head here. The ultimate goal of this energetic evolution is a unified, harmonious global family. So, what does an organization built on this kind of cosmic blueprint actually do in the real world? Well, their objectives are deeply rooted in this structure. They aim for self-realization, the unity of all humans, the welfare of all living beings, the protection of the environment, and the promotion of universal harmony across all religions and paths. It's about putting that energy wealth into practice. If you want to explore this detailed architectural map of consciousness for yourself, you can visit them at vishwadharmasangam.org or reach out via the numbers provided. As we close out today's explainer, I'll leave you with the required greeting, Vishwadharma Sangam ki or se Swami Soumyanandaji Maharaj ka pranam swikar kare. But I also want to leave you with a provocative question to chew on. If we truly internalized that every human, every animal, and every object is constructed from the exact same evolutionary journey of vibrating atomic energy, is that shared cosmic origin the ultimate unbreakable key to lasting world peace? Thanks for exploring this with us.